All right, we are live. Oh my gosh, I feel like I'm in a freaking movie right now. Like 30 seconds before I hit go live, the internet guy shows or calls me and is like, "I'm trying to find your house. Where are you?" And I go up there, and we've been like troubleshooting stuff, and I've told him at least 5 times, if not 10 times, like, I'm trying to do a live internet show right now. Can you please like not cut the internet off anymore while you're doing tests? And he's like, what? So anyway, we're here now. We've got this feed going here. We still have 26 minutes until launch. I've prepared all these videos for us to watch because usually that's a little bit more exciting than the beginning of the launch, you know?
Yeah.
So maybe we should just get into a few of these videos very quickly. And I have so many videos because I was planning to start like an hour ahead of time that we may not be able to get. I'm sure we won't be able to get to them all. But maybe the first one that we should play is just simply the animation that SpaceX put together of what this mission will look like overall. So we can play this here.
Launch trajectory countdown now. Pad is clear. Go for launch.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition, liftoff.
Is this real video that we're watching? Or is
No.
this like a render?
Render.
Okay.
Separation confirmed.
MVAC ignition.
Dragon, separation confirmed. Visually confirmed.
Mains have been deployed.
So that was a obviously like 3D animation render of the game plan today, but they have already done this test once. They have launched the Crew Dragon, they have docked with the International Space Station, and I've got a clip of this as well.
Ice launch trajectory countdown now. Pad is clear. Go for launch.
10, 9, 8,
This is the real one?
7,
Yes.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition. Liftoff.
Vehicle is pitching downrange. Vehicle is supersonic.
Stage separation confirmed.
Exec ignition.
Landing legs have deployed, and Falcon 9 has landed. Dragon, separation confirmed. Houston Station, space ground to ISS thrusters enabled.
Houston Station, Dragon hatch opened at 13:07. On behalf of Ripley, Little Earth, myself, and our crew, welcome to the Crew Dragon.
Houston Station on suit, ISS crew is ready for departure. Separation visually confirmed. We have visual on drugs. We have 4 healthy sheets. Recover, this is DRC. Dragon has landed.
So we've got like 18 minutes now until, and I don't want to, start showing the actual feed 1 minute before. We want to see it a few minutes before. So at this point, I just have to figure out what the most important clips are that we have here. And
So is this shuttle called Dragon, or that was the first one? What is...
So I believe that the pod is called Crew Dragon, and then it is on the Falcon rocket, I believe.
Christian Madsen says, potentially the biggest moment in space flight since Apollo 11. Go Dragon, weather permitting.
Yeah, let's hope they're not scrubbed for weather again. This is the first time that a private company has sent humans into space in human history. So this is like an incredible moment.
And are we sending coronavirus?
I
to
know.
the
I was thinking
space
about that. I mean,
station?
you watch how many people are interacting with the astronauts. It's crazy. Let's watch real quick. I have got a few clips with Elon Musk talking about this. The amount of pressure that he must be feeling is insane right now. Check this out.
About what we're about to do is that the rocket has flown many times. In fact, even in this, essentially this configuration, it's flown about 20 times. So that means we really have, and I don't want to tempt fate, but a well-proven rocket. And we've flown Crew Dragon to the space station once, successfully brought it back. We've done a tremendous amount of testing on the ground, and when you do the testing on the ground, you always push the limits. So you want to try, you push it way beyond what you'd expect in flight. So sometimes you'd break it because you kind of want to break it on the ground during testing to see what the limits are. So this is a result, like I said, of thousands of tests, of thousands of design hours, and a tremendous number of smart people working incredibly hard to make this day happen.
And you've got 2 astronauts on board now.
Yes.
Do you feel that responsibility?
Yes, absolutely. I felt it, I think, most strongly when I saw their family just before coming here.
And did you say anything that you can share?
I said we've done everything we can to make sure your dad's come back okay.
Thanks for sharing that with us.
Well, we spent a lot of time designing the spacesuit. I personally spent a lot of time.
We can cut there. But you could tell, I mean, he started getting choked up there just talking to the families.
I feel like I said this, when was this, last Wednesday they were trying to launch?
Yeah.
I was thinking like it'd be horrible to witness an event like the Challenger.
Yeah.
Like I don't remember living and watching that, but with the events that have just happened in the last 2 days,
I know.
I feel like this has to be a success. If this goes bad, I just feel like, are we going to give up on 2020?
I know.
And just be like, look.
If this explodes live on camera, I mean, it's going to be so horrific. Check out this quick interview with Elon here.
I'm the chief engineer of the thing, so I just like to say, if it goes right, it's credit to the SpaceX NASA team. If it goes wrong, it's my fault.
You believe that?
Yeah, absolutely.
We met Elon Musk and NASA Administrator Jim Bridenstine inside Kennedy Space Center's Launch Control Center. This is SpaceX's firing room, where Musk will watch today's scheduled liftoff. His Falcon 9 rocket stood on Launch Pad 39A, the same pad that sent Apollo 11 to the moon.
It's an incredible honor to be on this launch pad, for which we're immensely grateful. 39A is like Times Square. It's not just opening a play on Broadway, it's opening a play on Times Square. Okay, it's the best pad in the world.
What does this moment mean to you?
Well, this is the culmination of a dream. This is a dream come true. In fact, it feels surreal. If you'd asked me when starting SpaceX if this would happen, I'd be like 1%, 0.1% chance.
Since SpaceX launched 18 years ago, Musk has revolutionized rocketry and the business model of space travel. His Falcon 9 rocket is reusable, a milestone breakthrough, because it slashes the dominant cost of launching. Bridenstine says that sort of corporate innovation is key to NASA's future, too.
Now, for the first time, the government is saying, look, we want to be a customer for sure, but we want to be one customer of many. And we want to have numerous providers that are competing on cost and innovation. This is the beginning of a commercial marketplace in space.
SpaceX has had 19 successful launches of cargo to the International Space Station. But with this launch, for the first time, SpaceX will carry people. NASA astronauts Bob Behnken and Doug Hurley. By far, it's the company's most pivotal test.
So, obviously we got just so much riding on this. It's crazy. Let's check.
I wonder how many launch pads there are. Like, I'm not familiar with Cape Canaveral and all the layouts, but it sounds like there's multiple places they're launching stuff off of.
Yeah, I don't exactly know how that works, but apparently this is the most famous launch pad. This is the launch pad that the final
space station, or the space shuttle.
The space shuttle launched from, yeah. And one of the astronauts today was on the final space shuttle mission as well, which is pretty cool. We have 15 minutes until...
So on Wednesday, we got down
14.
to like 20 or 15 minutes before they called it.
Yeah.
So I don't know what happens the last 15 minutes. Is there important stuff going on right now? Or
let's tune in and see.
We are so excited. We are just a few minutes away from countdown. So we are going to turn it over to Dan and John for the final minutes in terminal count. Take it away, John.
T-minus 13 minutes, 30 seconds, continuing to count down. We're continuing to load fuel onto the first stage. That should finish up in just about 6 minutes. Fuel is completely loaded on the second stage. That's closed out. And we are continuing to load liquid oxygen on both the first and second stage.
All right, so we're still fueling up. We have 6 minutes. I'm just going to play another clip while they do this. Let's see, which one do I want to show? So this one's super interesting here. This is the Crew Dragon escape demonstration. They did this a few months ago, and basically they shot the rocket up. The Dragon capsule detaches from it. The rocket explodes behind it, and then the Dragon capsule saves itself with parachutes. It's just unbelievable.
This is if things go wrong?
Yes.
Falcon 9 is in startup. Dragon is in countdown.
FTS is armed. Go for launch.
3, 2, 1, 0. Ignition. Liftoff. Semper Fi, aim high. Go Falcon, go Dragon.
Vehicle is pitching downrange.
Stage 1 propulsion's nominal.
Falcon power and telemetry nominal.
Miko, Dragon launch escape initiated. Trickle firings are looking good. Stage 1 throttle down.
Now, is there cargo in here? There's not people in this.
This was just a test.
transport zone.
Good main chutes release.
Velocity decreasing.
So that's basically to show that, you know, in case something starts to go wrong in the middle of the launch, they can detach themselves from the rocket and still hopefully land safely.
They anticipated something going wrong, and then the rocket blew up. What happens if the rocket blows up before you have any idea that something's going wrong?
Yeah, obviously, I guess anything's possible, but yeah, hopefully, like in the moment, they can notice something is going wrong.
And again, all the footage that we just saw, that's real footage, or is some of that CGI mixed in?
I think that was all real.
Because the HD footage of these things, I mean, I haven't kept up with a lot of the space travel stuff, but this is the highest quality footage we've ever seen of stuff like this. It's unbelievable to watch. I feel like I'm looking at a video game.
2 minutes.
Yeah.
And then to see the rocket, it loads by articulating sideways. They don't roll it in like they did the old shuttles. That's pretty wild.
Displays are configured for launch.
Copy. Bob, Doug, on behalf of the entire SpaceX team, it's been a huge honor to help you get ready for today's historic mission. Know that we're with you, have an amazing flight, and enjoy those views of our beautiful planet.
You ever do space camp as a kid?
No, I didn't have that kind of money.
Thanks, Jay.
Rich kid. Oh, that's the pinnacle rich kid thing.
I lived in Alabama, in Huntsville. They had the
effort
space
to get the United States
the rockets
back in the launch business.
Was that expensive? I think our school went there once.
We'll talk to you from orbit. Thank you.
Copy all. Thanks for those words.
The SpaceX core, so again, that voice that's going to be talking to Bob and Doug throughout their mission from right here in Hawthorne, just offering a few quick words. The crew did confirm their crew displays are configured for launch. We are coming up on
So
9
this capsule
minutes
will
and
reach
counting.
orbit. And then how long? They're not going to attach the space station in this broadcast, right? It'll take some amount of time.
Yeah, it's close to 19 hours, I believe, to reach orbit. So, I'm sorry, to reach the ISS. So they have to circle the globe a few times before they can catch up to it. Let me go ahead and tell you guys, there's, you know, always a chance that our internet's going to go crazy or something. So make sure you have another tab open with the NASA stream. I've got the link in the description. And, once this actually starts to launch, we will go full screen and we will shut our mouths.
I just got a text from my parents asking if we're watching this. That means it's a pretty big deal if my parents are tuned into this.
We don't want to try to run highly chilled liquid oxygen through a warm pump. You will flush that into gas.
Was it on Thursday? Something blew up? Was that a different rocket they're testing?
Yeah, they were testing something else, and it was a ground test. And, I don't know that the explosion was purposeful, but Elon Musk is always talking about pushing things like in the ground test to the maximum and
knowing what's capable and not
yeah, so
possible.
They expect them to break at times.
Listening to the SpaceX launch director in the background there. As I mentioned, at T-minus 7 minutes as we start the chill, we will also get into the final topping off of stage 1 fuel, and then the fuel load will complete.
You can come in and watch. No.
If you get in the frame, they can see you.
You can stand here, or you can watch on the computer. You got 7 minutes.
And everybody's starting to be quiet here. Let's play one more clip. I did so much work getting all these clips together, and I can't play them all now. Let's play. I mean, this is the greatest clip ever. Goodness, sorry.
What are we watching?
So this is the Falcon Heavy test that we watched live before with the Tesla Roadster that's released.
Okay. Was that a year ago or 2 years ago?
It might have been 2 years ago at this point, which is crazy. Time flies. And then, of course, the thrusters land themselves. It's just unbelievable.
Returning
Accelerator shut down. Side boosters decoy.
Dude, this is real. This is what I don't understand this video quality. How is it so clear here, but then other shots in orbit don't look clear?
I don't know. I mean, a second ago there was a CGI clip of the thrusters coming apart, but this is all real. I mean, this doesn't look that good. This is lower than GoPro quality.
I'm just thinking we're having trouble uploading from our home.
Well, that's true.
On an island in the world.
Yeah.
How are they?
So this is obviously CGI here, but then it will become real here.
Gotcha, I see it. Yeah, I got him. They're there. Oh my God, there. You've got to be kidding me. What? That's unreal.
So that was absolutely ridiculous.
I think it's safe to say no other car manufacturer has launched a car into outer space.
That might be safe to say.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
Here we go.
Moment, Bob and Doug are really just laser focused on those displays. They have insight directly into Dragon and the Falcon 9. They're able to see where their fuel loading is at, how everything's progressing down with the count.
AFTS final setup started.
Three and a half minutes from launch.
And the Strongback is now reclining away from the Falcon 9.
This is so crazy.
MVAC igniter purges.
And I think this is right next to Elia, isn't it?
I'll go believe.
Yeah,
He lives just a few miles from this.
I'm sure we're going to see some amazing photographs.
Dragon has transitioned to terminal count and is on internal power. Stage 1, LOX load close out.
Okay, we're at T-minus 2 minutes, 42 seconds. Stage 1 LOX load is closed out. Stage 2 will continue to load for about another half a minute or so. Once we get the completion of Stage 2 LOX loading, we have to vent down the line, so you'll see another large white cloud coming off of the Strongback. That'll be normal. That'll happen
Vehicle
around
is transitioning to internal
T-minus
power.
1 minute and 40 seconds. We're going on internal power now.
Just a few seconds away from the Stage 2 LOX load being complete. It's been almost 9 years since we've been in this position. A lot of work done by thousands of people to get to this point. All our eyes focused on 2 now.
Stage 2 LOX load is closed out. Propellant fills are complete.
People are saying our whole stream is like
Dragon is in
25
auto idle.
seconds behind. So I don't want to look at the comments
Yeah.
to know what happens.
Stage 2
I wanna...
LOX load complete. All fuel, all oxidizer on Falcon
At
9.
1 minute,
1 minute, 34 seconds to go.
Or do you want to have our reactions?
I don't know. I mean, I think we should go full screen. Unless you think other people are watching this on another tab, then maybe we should keep it like this. Let us know in the comments what we should do. Full screen.
I don't want to look at comments now because it may have already.
Well, we are watching this live, so we are good.
I know, but if people in the comments say anything,
but we're watching it at the same time as they are. They're seeing our stream seconds behind.
Unless they have on TV on.
Under a minute now, the FTS, the flight termination system, has been armed.
Dragon, SpaceX, go for launch.
Sick to my stomach.
SpaceX Dragon, we're go for launch. Let's light this candle.
Skydive or something.
T-minus 30
Full
seconds.
screen. Let's do it.
Stage 1 tanks pressing for flight.
T-minus 15 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Ignition. Liftoff of the Falcon 9 and Crew Dragon. Go NASA. Go SpaceX. Godspeed, Bob and Doug.
America has launched. And so rises the new era of American spaceflight, and with it the ambitions of a new generation continuing the dream. 20 seconds into flight, stage 1 propulsion is nominal.
T plus 30 seconds into this historic mission. Flying crew on board Dragon and Falcon 9, and look at them go.
Falcon power telemetry nominal.
What is the next
M1D throttle down.
We're throttling down to get ready for the period of maximum dynamic pressure. We're in the throttle bucket.
So maximum dynamic pressure is like, even though their speed is increasing, it's the most pressure on the ship because the air is still relatively thick, and then as they go faster and faster, it gets thinner, and it's easier on the ship.
Technical term.
M1D throttle up.
We're throttling back up to full power as we're through max Q.
Copy, 1 Bravo.
And we heard that 1 Bravo call out. That's just the second abort zone that they're in. They'll continue to be on this until the first stage has done its job and they switch over to the second. At this point, Bob and Doug pulling about 2.3 Gs, 2.3 times the Earth's gravity, already moving at over 1,500 miles per hour.
We've heard the call out for MVAC engine chill. That's getting the MVAC engine ready to light. That'll come at about 2:44 into flight. Right now, everything continuing to look good. Next major event coming up is going to be the triple. We'll have main engine cutoff of the 9 first stage engines, stage separation, and then ignition of the second stage engine to continue to carry astronauts into orbit. Coming up in about 20 seconds.
M1D throttle down.
We heard we're throttling down the Merlin engines on the first stage.
The flat earthers, what do they think the ship is facing sideways for now?
And we
Well,
have
that's their
Miko.
proof that the Earth is flat.
Falcon stage separation confirmed.
Copy, 2 Alpha.
MVAC ignition.
All right, we have stage separation confirmed. The first stage beginning its flight back. The second stage being powered by that single Merlin 1D vacuum engine has ignited and is now carrying Bob and Doug into orbit. So they're going to continue under the power of this second
Stage
stage,
2 propulsion is nominal.
which will cut off at SECO, or second engine cut off at about 8 minutes and 44 seconds into today's flight. So a little over 5 minutes to go still on this second stage. You heard the call out to Alpha, so they're now in the longest abort zone that carries them all the way from about North Carolina up the eastern seaboard, almost to Canada. Things looking good, though, getting good call outs, nominal propulsion on that second stage. Bob and Doug continuing to make their way into orbit.
Dragon SpaceX, nominal trajectory.
I like how chill they look. They just have their fingers crossed and just totally relaxed.
All right, here in nominal trajectory, so Dragon pointed in the right direction, continuing to make their flight uphill. Heard acquisition of signal Bermuda. That's one of the other ground stations that they're using to get telemetry and data back from this spacecraft.
Stage 2 propulsion is still nominal.
A little over 4 minutes, 40 seconds into the flight. Bob and Doug flying at more than 5,600 miles
Dragon
per hour.
SpaceX, nominal trajectory.
Already almost 200 miles downrange from the Kennedy Space Center. Nominal trajectory continuing.
There's one more
And
separation.
while they continue uphill, looks like we are getting a view of the first stage as well.
Yep, on your right screen, you can see that first stage with the grid fins deployed. It's making its way back to attempt to land on our drone ship, Of Course I Still Love You Today. And we're just about a couple minutes away from the entry burn, and that's where 3 of the 9 Merlin engines do ignite to help slow the vehicle down as it re-enters back into the Earth's atmosphere. And then after the entry burn will be the landing burn, which is just a single engine
Dragon
burn.
SpaceX, nominal trajectory.
And you heard
starting chill for entry burn.
There's that call out. They are still on a nominal trajectory on Dragon, still on second stage, and that's that MVAC engine on second stage on your left screen. Again, on your right screen is that first stage booster coming back towards our drone ship, Of Course I Still Love You. We're about a minute away from entry burn.
Meanwhile, that second stage continuing to power Dragon into orbit. Again, if you're keeping an eye on that timer, that's going to continue to burn until 8 minutes and 44 seconds into flight. So a little over 2 minutes from now, we'll hear the call out SECO. It'll then be a little
Stage 2 propulsion is still good.
A little over 3 minutes until Dragon physically separates from the second stage of the Falcon 9 after the upper
Dragon
stage gets a
SpaceX,
chance.
nominal trajectory.
Dragon copies, nominal trajectory.
Continuing to check in with Bob and Doug as they are on a nominal trajectory. Just about 10 seconds away from that first stage, starting that entry burn on your right screen. We should be able to see that view live.
Stage 1 entry burn startup.
And there is that entry burn beginning. This burn lasts about 36 seconds long.
Stage 2 FTS is saved.
While that entry burn continues, we're just about a minute away from SECO. We'll have a number of events all happen in rapid succession.
You mentioned
It'll be the second engine cut off.
Stage 1 entry burn.
Something like that, 19
I wonder
to 20.
how many launches they had early on in NASA before they sent somebody up. Just
Yeah,
still
I'm not
feels
sure.
like not that many, you know?
I know.
Such a cool view on your left screen, seeing Bob and Doug on Dragon. Right now you can see the displays that they are seeing right now themselves.
Terminal guidance.
MVAC throttle step.
We are coming up 25 seconds or so away from SECO, or second engine cutoff.
This is also the point where Bob and Doug are experiencing their highest G-force. We're seeing the counter tick up to right about
Stage 1
1.8.
transonic.
Copy, Shannon.
You heard Shannon, so that just means they're in their final abort zones. If they were to abort at this point, would either be an abort to orbit or to land off the coast of Ireland. Standing by for second
Stage 1 landing
cutoff
startup.
confirmation.
MVAC throttle step. MVAC shut down. Stage 1 landing winner.
Confirmation of SECO's second engine cutoff.
Now we are waiting for our first stage to make its way to our drone ship. Of course, I still love you.
Dragon SpaceX nominal orbital insertion.
Launch escape confirmation nominal
Dragon
orbital
copy.
insertion.
Nominal orbital insertion.
And what you're seeing on your screen is a live view of our drone ship, where our first stage will be coming down. Looks like we lost that live view, but we'll wait for confirmation of that landing shortly here.
Falcon 9 first stage is successful.
And there you can see on your screen, Falcon 9 has landed. This is the first Falcon 9 to carry humans to orbit, so very exciting for us. And as you can see on your right screen, Bob and Doug are still making their way to their targeted orbit.
M1D to recovery 1.
So exciting today.
M1D.
It doesn't stop.
It does not stop.
All right, we did hear again that call out, good orbital insertion, so that means Falcon 9 and Dragon right now exactly where they're supposed to be.
M1D to FRC on recovery 1.
And it's right at about 12 minutes when Dragon will separate. Looks like we saw a 0G indicator floating around there. I know Bob and Doug owe us a little bit about what exactly that is that they brought up with them.
And before separation, before Dragon initiates separation from the second stage, they do make sure to make, they do ensure that the vehicle is not spinning and it is in good condition before we separate.
That's right, the upper stage does small attitude maneuver using some cold gas thrusters built into the rocket body itself.
Exactly, so we do expect that separation to occur in about a minute from now, but they do wait until they have full confirmation that it is ready to separate.
And what happens to this?
Such cool views. I cannot get over this view that we are seeing right now.
I don't know. I had these other two videos, and I can show, after we're done with this, I'll show the one, but this everyday astronaut, he's a YouTuber, and he's just so knowledgeable. It's amazing. And he knows Elon Musk, and he gets behind the scenes access to everything. It's really cool. And he made this video on, like, minute by minute what happens before the launch and after the launch, each step along the way. And so I have these videos planned so that we can see. But yeah, I'm not sure about this additional thruster here. I can't remember exactly what happens.
Flight to the International Space Station. Standing by for separation.
Loss of signal, wallows.
It sounds like we had an expected LOS loss of signal with one of the ground stations. Waiting for confirmation now of that.
Dragon separation confirmed.
Dragon separation confirmed.
There is a great view right in front of you of Dragon separating.
Separation confirmed.
And there's that call out. Dragon is now officially making its way to the International Space Station today.
Dragon SpaceX with that separation call. We have a few words for you from our Falcon 9 team.
A piece of debris fly.
Yeah.
Standing by.
Never mind.
Dragon, Chief Engineer on Dragon to Ground. Bob Doug, on behalf of the entire launch team, thanks for flying with Falcon 9 today. We hope you enjoyed the ride and wish you a great mission.
Thanks, Bala. Congratulations to you and the F9 team for the first human ride for Falcon 9, and it was incredible. Appreciate all the hard work, and thanks for the great ride to space.
Copy all.
Oh, and like, proud of you guys and the rest of the team. Thank you so much for what you've done for us today, putting America back into low Earth orbit from the Florida coast.
Copy all. Good luck. Godspeed.
All right, so Bob and Doug are in
Dragon
space.
SpaceX, we confirm nominal E-Class activation and service section Draco checkouts. Nose cone deploys in progress.
Copy all. We're monitoring.
The Corps here in Hawthorne giving the crew a heads up that we have confirmation the nose cone is deploying. So again, that nose cone is going to open up a little bit more than 90 degrees, goes up to about, I think, 105 degrees. And that's going to expose the actual docking ring and the hatch that they're going to be going through once they attach to the International Space Station. And also 4 of those Draco thrusters, we call them the forward bulkhead thrusters, that are going to be used for these major phase burns or firings of those thrusters to actually raise their orbit gradually over the coming hours.
Yeah, at this point we might have to wait the 19 hours.
Of the ECLIS, that's the environmental
Let's listen in just for a few more minutes.
System. That's everything controlling their atmosphere, just keeping Dragon a nice, safe, habitable environment where they're going to be living for the next 19 hours until they arrive at the space station.
Right, exactly. And Falcon 9's job may be done for today, but the mission is not over. Crew Dragon's job is not done. As you can see, Bob and Doug are still inside Crew Dragon, making their way. It will be a 19-hour trip to the International Space Station before they dock tomorrow morning. And such cool views. I love that we can get these live views here and see and watch what they're doing now that they are in orbit.
Yeah, it's incredible to just be looking over their shoulder, to be along for the ride. And we're going to be with them, and we're going to be with all of you the entire way for their journey to the space station. We're going to be covering live throughout. Bob and Doug will obviously have a sleep period where they'll get about 8 hours of sleep a little bit later today before they wake up.
I assume they just wet themselves and stuff.
Yeah, they probably wear diapers.
Yeah.
It didn't look like they were getting up out of their seat and moving around that cabin.
You know, for Halloween once, I went as that astronaut that crapped herself.
Yeah.
You remember that? That was my costume, and I had the diaper on. And
yeah.
Ground station coverage.
Well, she wasn't an astronaut. Was she an astronaut? I think she wore the diaper on a long trip across the country to like get revenge on her boyfriend or something.
Yeah, but I think she had been accustomed to wearing the diaper.
So she knew what to expect.
Placing Bob and Doug into orbit. I mean, this is a day, this is a historical day. This is us kicking off that new era of space flight that we've all been talking about and longing for since the space shuttle program came to an end in 2011.
Yes.
And the weather cooperated.
Yes, second time's a charm.
Right.
All right, so day for the history books. As you can see, we have lost some live signal there, but the mission still continues, and we're going to send it over to KSC to continue broadcasting live with you.
Lost signal, Newfoundland.
Yeah, Jesse and Dan, we are just in awe over here. When I woke up this morning and looked at the weather forecast, I was like, man, we're going to be back here on Sunday, but we did it. The room cleared out. Everybody was outside watching, and inside the lights were shaking, the cameras were shaking. Lauren came back in with tears in her eyes. This is really amazing.
I can't believe it. I saw it with my own eyes. This is, I'm a little bit speechless. Just so grateful that we got them up there, and there's a lot more to go, but I'm so happy they're safe right now. I'm just so happy.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to play this other clip from the Everyday Astronaut. Definitely check out his YouTube channel. He makes incredible content. But this is what we can expect from the launch on.
And finally, at T-minus 0 seconds, the clamps let go and the Falcon 9 lifts off the pad, beginning its 19-hour journey to the International Space Station. Now for the Demo 2 mission, it'll be the first time humans leave the Earth from the United States and go to orbit since the Space Shuttle's last mission, STS-135, which took off from this exact pad in 2011. In fact, one of the DM2 astronauts, Doug Hurley, was on STS-135. That is so cool. The rocket accelerates, ascending vertically to get out of the thickest parts of the atmosphere, but pretty soon it will begin to pitch over and begins to accelerate horizontally. The rocket really only goes up to get out of the atmosphere. Getting into orbit requires an awful lot of horizontal velocity, around 27,000 kilometers an hour. As I like to say, to get to space you go up, to stay in space you go sideways. Very, very fast. T plus 58 seconds, the rocket encounters maximum aerodynamic pressure, or max Q, which is when the vehicle experiences the strongest aerodynamic forces on it. After this point, despite the rocket still going faster and faster, the air is also getting thinner and thinner, and eventually is pretty much non-existent. T plus 2 minutes 33 seconds, the first stage engines shut down, or main engine cutoff occurs, otherwise known as MECO. T plus 2 minutes 36 seconds, the first stage lets go of the second stage for stage separation. T plus 2 minutes 44 seconds, the second stage ignites its single vacuum-optimized Merlin engine and continues to accelerate the vehicle to orbital velocities. At the same time, the Falcon 9 does something super unique. Its first stage flips around using some cold gas thrusters up on its inner stage, and this ends up pointing the engines forward, preparing the vehicle to re-enter the atmosphere engines first. Now at this moment, the first stage is still coasting upwards, but after a few minutes it will begin to fall back down to Earth. At around T plus 2 minutes and 52 seconds, you'll likely notice a ring fall off of the bell nozzle of the Merlin vacuum engine. Now don't panic, that's supposed to happen. That's a cork ring stiffener that holds the thin niobium nozzle extension in shape and keeps it safe while it's inside the inner stage on ascent. T plus 4 minutes and 45 seconds, the first stage booster has coasted to its maximum altitude or apogee of about 149 kilometers and begins to fall back down to Earth. T plus 7 minutes and 15 seconds, the first stage begins to re-enter the atmosphere and lights up 3 of its 9 Merlin engines for an entry burn, which slows it down enough to survive the intense re-entry heating. T plus 8 minutes 47 seconds, the second stage cuts off, officially placing the Dragon capsule into its initial parking orbit of 190 kilometers by 205 kilometers, and cheering will ensue. T plus 8 minutes 52 seconds, the first stage begins its landing burn as it prepares to land on the autonomous spaceport drone ship. T plus 9 minutes 22 seconds, the first stage lands on the drone ship and cheering intensifies. T plus 12 minutes, the Crew Dragon separates from the second stage. T plus 12 minutes 46 seconds, the nose cone of the Dragon capsule opens, exposing the star tracker, which aids in navigation. T plus 49 minutes 6 seconds. After a few checkouts of the Draco reaction control thrusters and a few pointing maneuvers, there's a phase burn of 16.11 meters per second to align the orbits of the Dragon and the International Space Station. T plus 9 hours, 44 minutes, and 44 seconds.
So that was 49 minutes after launch. There are rockets or a burn within their own capsule that's going to start going. That would be cool to see, but I don't know if we're going to stick around that long.
Phase burn of 16.11 meters per second to align the orbits of the Dragon and the International Space Station. T plus 9 hours, 44 minutes, and 44 seconds, there's another phase adjustment burn. T plus 11 hours, 10 minutes, 15 seconds, the Dragon capsule performs a 44.2 meter per second burn using its Draco thrusters to boost its orbit closer to the International Space Station. T plus 11 hours, 55 minutes, and 1 second, there's another burn, this time of 57.89 meters per second, which circularizes the orbit. T plus 17 hours, 40 minutes, and 24 seconds. After a few mid-course correction burns, the Crew Dragon is approaching the 400-meter keep-out sphere, or KOS, and requires a go, no-go pull from mission control in order to continue. T plus 17 hours, 50 minutes, and 24 seconds, the Dragon capsule enters the keep-out sphere and hits waypoint 0, which is 400 meters below the International Space Station. T plus 18 hours, 15 minutes, 24 seconds, the Dragon capsule arrives at waypoint 1 and holds approximately 220 meters away to align to the docking axis. T plus 18 hours, 51 minutes, 24 seconds, a final go, no-go poll is given for docking. T plus 18 hours, 56 minutes, and 24 seconds, the Dragon capsule arrives at waypoint 2, which is only 20 meters away and gets placed into a short hold. T plus 19 hours, 1 minute, and 24 seconds. The Dragon capsule departs waypoint 2 and goes in for the docking. T plus 19 hours, 6 minutes, and 25 seconds. A big sigh of relief from the crew and mission control. The Dragon is docked and the crew has officially arrived at the International Space Station. So there you have it. Nice and easy, huh? Well, you can actually try the docking yourself.
So you get the idea there.
What is the flat but kind of rounded USB dock? It plugs into the back of my dock for my phone. I can never get it to go in. It's like I have to see, oh, I'm wrong. You know, it's like micro USB. Micro USB.
Yeah.
You know how difficult that is to get in there?
Yeah.
And then you see this super complex thing that just like comes in and locks into place in a much more complicated way.
It is just outrageous science fiction. I mean, it's so crazy that we were able to watch that live while it was happening.
There's also so many more steps that have to happen. It seems like maybe the most catastrophic steps are behind it.
I would imagine.
But it still needs to do a lot to get to the space station. Are you going to stay up all night? And you could have riots on one monitor and the space station
what is
on the
19
other.
hours from now? I mean, that would be tomorrow morning, right?
Yeah, maybe it's
earlier.
You could sleep through the night and
yeah. I mean, I definitely want to watch it. I would imagine they're going to post it live, but
can we get streaming from? I mean, they showed the footage of them taking the dummy out and putting it in the space station.
Yeah,
it's pretty crazy that we can do all of this.
I know, it's unbelievable. Well, should we wrap up this flight companion? Is there anything else you want to talk about?
We got our upload back. We're at 25 megabits a second.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah, that's what I was showing you. It's
I thought it said download 25.
No, download's like 250. We're up to.
That's incredible.
25.
So the guy fixed it while we were live without cutting our internet off.
How about that for service?
That's like, if you could have seen me communicating with him, I was like, we're doing a live show right now, and he was like, TV show? And I pull up our YouTube channel and I start playing a video and I'm like, this is me. You know SpaceX rocket launch to space? And he was like, yes. And I was like, it's happening now. I have to start my show now. And he was like, okay. And I was like, don't cut our internet. And he was like, okay. So
imagine what he's telling his wife when he gets home. He's like, I was part of the launch today. There was this man who had to communicate.
No, it wasn't that serious, Liberty Internet guy, but we thank you for your service. It worked, and he fixed the problem. So tonight, we should be back in business, and I lowered our stream bitrate for this show. So we'll be back up to a higher quality this evening, and thank you all for joining. We will see you in a few hours.